talk a little bit about how I've been and such, and some books that I've been reading. Yesterday was Pokemon Community Day, the first of 2 days, because we are wrapping up 2023 with a 2-day Pokemon Go event from 2 to 5 today and yesterday, as of recording on Sunday. They're revisiting all of the previous community days of the year, and yesterday I got 19 shinies and 2 4-star Pokemon. And for those of you that out there that know what I'm talking about, high five, you're cool. Everyone else, you're dumb and you suck.
Perfect.
So I had a pretty fun day yesterday, just driving around in my car, walking around the park, listening to podcasts and catching Pokemon, because that's how you're supposed to spend your Saturdays in December, as far as I'm concerned. Go outside and go for a walk and catch Pokemon. But I did read some comic books. I got in the mail recently a copy of this book that I backed on Kickstarter called Try Not to Die. This is the first issue of a 5-issue series, if I'm not mistaken. This is by Damian Becton with art by Kenneth Laster, letters by Reed Hinckley Barnes. I'll post a link to the show note, or I'll post a link to the Kickstarter in the show notes. But essentially the story is 5 people are abducted after apparently dying in classic horror movie moments, and they wind up in this weird limbo state where they have to survive their murders once again or be the last one standing. It's a little confusing, but the idea is there's like this Hellraiser Cenobite alien monster that has essentially brought these people into a limbo space, and for entertainment purposes, they're reliving their murders, but if they survive them in the reliving state, they will survive. But all 5 of them are experiencing it at once. It's a really weird concept that I was kind of not bought in on until the end of the issue had a really interesting twist that I said, oh, there's like another layer of like interesting bits that's happening on this book. Not in the same way that Our Bones Dust has it, where there's like actually a cool third layer. It's mostly the twist with one of the characters I did not see coming. And I really, really like the way that this book is going. Plus, it feels like Hellraiser, and I'm always on board for someone at least trying to do something like that. I listened to a podcast recently where they were talking about Hellraiser 2, and I was like, oh man, that movie is so stupid. It fucking rules. And that's what I kind of got out of this book. It's kind of an absurd concept, but it is well executed and it's super well lettered. I do want to call out the lettering in this book as being something that really immersed me in driving the way that I was following the comic. And I feel like some books try to do that, where they try to guide you through the pages with lettering, and it sometimes doesn't work. This book had a really wild circular layout on like a 2-page spread, and the lettering got me from place to place in a way that I feel like many books who have tried to do that super duper can't do it very well. So I don't know, really like this book. The first issue was pretty pricey. It was like $13 for the physical copy, but it was only $4 or $5 for the first issue digitally. So like, I feel like that's the right pricing for an indie Kickstarter where there's only like 2,000 or 1,000 copies being made. But yeah, it's pretty good. Really high quality print when I got the book. It was very well packaged, came with a really cool sticker. The design on this series is really, really cool. There's one thing that I think a lot of comic books don't get, especially in the indie scene sometimes, on Kickstarter, and books that I've backed and books that I've decided not to back because of this. But the design of your book, the layout of the cover, the logo that you use really, really can help drive the cool factor of your book. And I'm not saying that a good story is dictated by a cool logo, because we've read plenty of comic books with really cool logos and they stink. But I will say, from like a perspective of a potential person who wants to crowdfund a comic, a cool logo will get me to at least read through your comic book Kickstarter. So just throwing that out there for folks that may be listening. But yeah, this is a really cool book. I can't wait for number 2. So Try Not to Die number 2 is probably coming out, I think, in 2024. If you can, I would say get on the information list for this book, because I really think this is a killer book coming out from Kickstarter, or from these creators on Kickstarter. So